Dead End Paranormal Park has been cancelled by Netflix. This animated fantasy show, which is based on Hamish Steele's graphic novel series Dead Endia, lasted for 2 seasons, the most recent of which aired in the October of 2022, and even had a 3rd season in the early days of development. But unfortunately, the show has now been given the proverbial pink slip from Netflix. In a statement posted on Twitter, series creator Steele, who also served as an executive producer for the Netflix adaptation, explained the bad news by stating, "I have held on to this news for a while now, hoping that we could reverse it, change it, make something good out of it. But sadly, I don't think that's possible right now. It's with a heavy heart that I tell you, Dead End is over." Obviously, we never wanted this to be the case. In fact, we did a writer's room for season 3. We have scripts and designs and outlines ready to go. It was always the plan to give these characters the proper ending they deserve. But sadly, the powers that be don't want any more. End quote. This is sad, mostly because Dead End Paranormal Park is, or rather was, a really great show. It had an awesome premise about 2 teenagers named Barney and Norma who work as security at an amusement park that is an absolute hotbed for paranormal activity like demons, ghosts, and D-list celebrities past their prime, as Barney and Norma, alongside a strong supporting cast, investigate the park's various aforementioned paranormal shenanigans. The show's character development is simultaneously fun and heartfelt, and the series features a lot of positive on-screen representation of various races, religious backgrounds, sexual orientations, and trans identities, all traits that many of the voice actors and the characters shared with each other, with the exception of if the character was a fantasy creature like Courtney or Pugsley, who is a talking dog that wears an adorable fez, because obviously there is no such thing as fantasy creatures or talking dogs as far as we know. So a human actor voicing them was fine in this case scenario, obviously. But regardless, Dead End Paranormal Park is a great show that left a hefty emotional impact on the viewer, all to the point that it deserved a 3rd season based on its high quality storytelling alone. Hell, it even needed a 3rd season due to its major narrative cliffhanger that season 2 concluded on, but unfortunately, it's just not in the cards. The show was felled by Netflix's Executioner's Axe. Admittedly, fans will still be able to find some closure for this lack of a conclusion eventually. In fact, Steele says that they are hard at work on a 3rd volume of Dead Endia, a book that would act as a conclusion to the source text. In fact, Steele even went so far as to say that Dead End Paranormal Park's season 3 plan was based heavily on it, which is a good thing because this book will offer an ending to this unfinished story. It will in essence have to act as a finale in the show's absence. But still, this is unfortunately not an optimal solution, because while Dead Endia Volume 3 will probably be very good, it will be in a different medium, and thus will have some differences between itself and how its Netflix adaptation would have ended if it had continued. It will be different, which unfortunately makes this an imperfect solution, but sadly, that is where we are at. Beleaguered sigh. On one final note, Dead End Paranormal Park's cancellation reflects Netflix's standard operating procedure over the last year or so. Over the past 4 quarters, the company has been cutting costs, and their animation output and production has been hit particularly hard. In fact, several shows, some even in mid-production no less, got cut last year. Series like Wings of Fire, Anti-Racist Baby, Pearl, With Kind Regards from Kindergarten, and Bad Crimes, which was a show that was executive produced by Mike fucking Judge. And if a show backed by Mike King of the Hill Judge was on the chopping block, then you'd better believe that no show is safe from Netflix's butcher knife. Even a show like Dead End Paranormal Park, a show that was critically acclaimed and featured an abundance of inclusive LGBTQ content and representation, all to the point that Netflix placed the show within its Representation Matters collection, was far from safe here. And sadly, Dead End Paranormal Park is Netflix's latest victim. It got cut, because while representation does indeed matter, for Netflix, it sadly did not matter enough. And with that, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like rating, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment telling me what you think of Dead End and this sad news. Also, please consider checking out my Patreon page. $1 a month gets you onto this credit sequence, and $5 a month allows you to make quick review requests. The link to my Patreon is in the description. And speaking of Patreon, I just want to thank my patrons, particularly my high tier ones in Samantha Devlin, Mom, and Morgan. Thank you so much for supporting what I do. Love y'all.